So taking a look at number 4, and this one is on the additional algebra review that I posted, you can see it's a quadratic, and as soon as you know it's a quadratic, you want it to be set equal to 0. That way you can try to see if you can factor it. This one unfortunately ends up being not factorable, but because it's a quadratic, we don't stop just because it's not factorable. We can actually plug it into the quadratic formula. So we're going to pick out our A, B, and C value and plug it into the formula. So x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. When I go to simplify this down, I look at this almost like it's 3 separate kind of entities here, and I simplify each of those. Oh, instead of 2a, you know what, I should have put a 3 here. That should be a 3 right here, all over 2a. Okay, so that blue part, negative 8, turns into a positive 8, plus or minus the square root. However you need to simplify this underneath the parentheses, but I know that negative 8 squared is 64. Okay, and then I know that this is negative 12 times negative 12 is a positive 144. So 64 and positive 144 gives me 208 underneath here. If you need to just type it in your calculator, go ahead and check that, but make sure what you're getting is 208. The bottom, the orange part, 2 times 3 is 6. So the next thing we want to do is underneath the radical, we're going to take a look and see if we can simplify the square root of 208 down. So you're going to look for your perfect squares inside of 208. And so what I do is I basically divide each of the perfect squares into 208 to see what goes into it. So I would say, well, let's write our perfect squares. 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, 121, 144, 169, 196, and 225. So obviously 225 doesn't go into it, but you want to try and look for the largest perfect square that you can possibly get to go into 208. None of these. 100 doesn't, 81 doesn't, 64 times 3, no. 49, nope. 36, does 36 go into 208? And let's grab my calculator. Bear with me, people. Let's see. Just getting my phone calculator. Okay, so 36 does not go into it. This is why I need to do math in the morning. 25 does not go into it. I feel like 16 might go into it 13 times. Yes. So 16 goes into 208, so we can simplify this down into 16 times 13. Again, I chose these numbers because these are the perfect squares. And so what I can do now is, because 16 is perfect, it's our perfect child, he gets to come out of the house. So the square root of 16, if you type it in your calculator, the square root of 16 is 4. The square root of 13 is not perfect, so that remains inside the radical sign. When I go to rewrite all of this, it becomes 8 plus or minus 4 root 13 over 6. Again, I can simplify these numbers on the outside. Each of them is divisible by 2, so I would say 4 plus or minus 2 root 13 over 3 as my final answer.